Good morning, everybody. Hey, we got a bunch of stuff coming up right now on the Morning Laugh. First off, we have more escaped animals. Where's Victor? Is Sylvester Stallone expendable? Are any of us essential anymore? Anyway, all that and much more coming up right now on the Morning Laugh.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Laugh. It is September 9th, 2020, and we are going to get your day started right with, you just saw him, Mike James.
Hello, Josh.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, you seem pretty tired there.
I don't drink coffee,
You know what would pep up this conversation?
What's that?
Is if we brought a little Kohatsu into it. Brian Kohatsu.
He's asleep. Brian.
That's right. Hey,
there we are, right here.
And then of course, Chris Wineland is in the bathroom this week, so it is just us three. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Man, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now. And we gotta jump right into it. First of all, did you know?
You're the best host ever, John.
I know, I really am. I'm like,
we got a lot of stuff.
We got a lot of stuff. It's the guy. Hey, look at me! I'm a host.
I want to see more of the character of the newscaster that's trying to buy time as he figures out.
Hey, this is Dan Rather with the ABC News. Anyways, I was just thinking that maybe we just go ahead and. Oh well, that is unfortunate. Oh man!
And,
so
back to you in the studio.
Back to you. So have you both seen Shang-Chi in the 10 Rings?
I watched the entire trailer.
Oh, okay.
Let's back up a quick second because of something Mike said last week. Mike, say the title of this film.
Shang-Chi. Is that wrong?
You said, and I quote last week, you said, there's no way to say the title of this movie without it sounding racist.
There isn't.
It is tough.
My son got the biggest kick out of that. I'll just tell you right now. Shang-Chi.
It sounds like you're mocking the names.
Yeah.
They should have just called it Lang Lee, Asian fighter.
They talk. If you saw the movie, Mike, and Josh will back me up, that he does have an American name at the beginning.
Yeah. Which, by the way, hold on. I will say that I thought that they were saying his Chinese name the whole time, and then when they really pronounced it to make a point, I was like, "Oh, I thought they were just saying his name." It's kind of racist the whole time, honestly.
What's his American name?
So his Chinese name is Shang-Chi. So it's like Sean with a G at the end.
Yeah, but Zhang,
Shang.
I guess wouldn't it be a ZH? Would it be a ZH sound?
Don't you hate when Sean's changed their last name to change their identity some way?
That's part of the joke in the movie is that he didn't want his father to find him, and she's like, "You went from Sean to Shang. That's your big change."
So was his full American name Sean Dillingham?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was just Shang-Chi. I think he just changed his name.
So she was still there.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, what is the correct pronunciation then?
Sean. So if it's that's the question. Would it be a ZH sound? So if it was ZH, it would be Zhang-Chi.
Zhang.
That sounds French.
Zhang-Chi.
But if it's the SH sound, Shang-Chi.
It's Shang-Chi.
I know. That's the question.
My daughter's friend called him Shang-Chi.
It looks like that.
He goes well with tea.
You can't get upset with it. I mean, you said the actor's name is. You want me to try?
I want you to try.
Yeah,
here we go.
I'm having problems with this myself.
It's a very Western Asian name. Simu Louis. I don't know. I'm trying my best.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Simon Louis. You know,
Hey,
when visiting Beijing.
guys, next up in the top 40, we got that Beach Boys spin-off hit, Simu Louis.
I don't know. Okay, what's the right pronunciation of his name? The actor.
Simu Liu.
Simu Liu.
Well, I think they just say Simu Liu is like kind of Liu.
That wasn't
Simu
bad.
Liu.
That wasn't that far off. Louis.
You're close. You're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the movie, though. So, Josh, did you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I will say that I without giving it away, Awkwafina is one of my favorite actresses out there. And
Awkwafina?
Yeah, that's her name. And
she's the one that makes the bottled water?
Yeah.
She does.
Yes, she does. I thought she there was like especially a few points where she not only carried the movie for a couple of minutes, but she also actually added substance into it for which is something that a sidekick character doesn't often get to do.
Yeah, I thought she was one of the better sidekicks. I liked it a lot. There was a review I read before it that said, I think I said it last week. There was a guy who said halfway through, I didn't even realize I was watching a Marvel film anymore.
Yeah.
It did feel like, I've seen a lot of martial arts films in my life. It did have that feel to it, but add the Marvel to it too.
I just did a Google search of Awkwafina, and this is what I got as a result.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying
you're spelling it wrong. You have to spell
her.
it. You have to spell it Asian. It's AWKW.
Is that her real name?
FINA.
It's not her real name.
So she's just messing with people.
Well,
so it's like my real name in Asian. It's pronounced Walmart
in Asian,
or in whatever language, in Chinese or Japanese, whatever. She's messing with people. She's making up a name to screw with people.
No, Mike's gonna have to drop out of that gubernatorial race he was gonna go into, and
she's
because now Asian's wrong too. You can't say anything. Jeez. And for a while, that's what you were supposed to say.
Simu Liu, Louis, and Awkwafina were very upset at the comments made by Mickey Yames.
See, now that doesn't bother me at all. I think people are looking for a reason to be upset. If that's
everyone's looking for a reason to get upset.
Yeah.
Except our viewers and listeners. They love us. Overall, I thought it was a very good movie. I liked it a lot. My technical critique was I thought it could have been shaved off 10 minutes. Just there was a couple areas where I thought it just lagged a smidge. I'm a huge Michelle Yeoh fan, so very excited to see her always on screen. Actually, I love her so much that when I got home, I watched Gunpowder Milkshake. So,
oh yeah, I watched that too. I don't want to. How did you feel about that one?
I was entertained.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Mike,
how did you feel about Gunpowder Milkshake?
I saw an ad for that. I almost watched it the other day before Brian told me he'd seen it.
Great cast,
but I haven't seen it.
It was fun. It was a fun little movie.
It was fun.
It wasn't like I'm not. It felt like a 1980s ripoff version of what someone at that time period would think a Tarantino film was. Does that make sense? It wanted to be Tarantino-esque, set in the 80s, but then it also had that nondescript time period.
You've mentioned several actors in this movie that you were previously familiar with, like the Water Girl or whatever, and Awkwafina.
Dasani. What's her name? What's her name?
Michelle. Who'd you say? Michelle something.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh. So the main actor, Samuel. Did you guys know him before, or was he famous before?
Yeah.
I did not know him from before.
Okay, so I've been watching him for a few years now. He was on this Canadian sitcom called Kim's Convenience, and it's been on Netflix for a while.
Right. But he was a Canadian sitcom, but was he famous before this?
Well, I mean,
no one's famous
being on a Canadian
Canada.
sitcom.
I mean, no one's famous before a Canadian sitcom except for Eugene Levy. So,
and he wasn't on a Canadian sitcom. He came to
And
America.
he's
to be
also
on
not in any
American
martial arts
TV.
movies.
No, okay, Mike. Well, okay,
Eugene
Mike. You
Levy
went
was
back to
on
Canada to make shit.
martial arts
Okay. Oh man,
And I don't think you're saying Eugene Levy correct, Mike.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Levy.
Eugene
Eugene
Levy.
Levy. That's right. I forgot.
Now say something offensive about Canadians.
Well, if you're on TV in Canada, that's still not famous, is it?
You're Canadian famous.
Well,
It's different.
well, they had a breakout. Kim's Convenience got put on Netflix, and then they had a breakout of the show, and so I think that's why he got the part, is because that.
So
because of that.
I watched that, and it's actually pretty good. Have you ever seen Corner Gas? I think that's what it's called.
Is that?
It's a Canadian show about a gas station in a small town.
Oh,
it's really good.
Is it about a Korean family?
No, it's actually
No.
it's just a regular Canadian
No,
guy and all that. In fact, the whole thing was this guy wanted to make a sitcom, and they go, "Well, this is Canada. We don't do sitcoms." Look it up, and they actually have an animated version of it now too. So anyway, Corner Gas.
Corner Gas. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna come back next week with a scathing review.
And if you followed us in these last 7 years that we've been on the air, you'll know we will not come back to that next week and talk about it.
Also, if you want to follow up to this conversation, check out the animated series, The Morning Laugh. It's LAFF, and it's we're all animated. And actually, Chris does not appear on that one either.
Yeah,
he's in the bathroom a lot on that one. So, crazy. Going back before we lose track, Simu Liu was in the news this week, not just because, for one, that film made what, $90+ million?
Yeah, it was the largest Labor Day opening, I think,
ever.
Yeah,
since the grand opening of a maternity. It's the largest Labor Day opening ever. Anyway, but he was Simu Liu. We're just gonna say his name until we get it right. He did some modeling before that.
So he was famous.
Oh, well.
So I mean, the segue I was pulling so hard for is finally being revealed.
I knew where you were going, but we like messing with you.
Yeah.
So what was his claim to fame, Mike?
Wasn't he like a stock photo model?
Well, that's where Mike knows him from. Like we all know him from Kim's Convenience, Marvel movies.
Mike
TV.
worked at Microsoft for a long time and was responsible for we need some images for PowerPoint. So so apparently those have resurfaced and the internet's going crazy because now they can own a little bit of Simu Liu's career at this point.
Yeah.
There was a really funny meme though. It's one of those stock photos of him and 3 other people looking at a screen. He's sitting at the desk and they're pointing at the laptop laughing. And I guess he said something like, "This is to all the people who thought I wouldn't make it." It's pretty funny. So, it's not a direct quote, but
it's me laughing at the people who thought we'd flop.
Yeah, there it is.
Hilarious.
Huge hit.
Yeah, great. It's fan. I took my kid to watch it. He loved it. He stayed entertained for most of it, and that's a lot to ask a kid. So
great. And by the way, Josh, I don't know if you're privy to this because I don't think you were part of the conversation. Mike had told me that he saw Jackie Chan in the movie, in the trailer.
I swore it was him. I swore. And I was watching a bunch of trailers, so it might have been him in a different trailer, and I got confused.
Tony
I watched
like
the trailer
Jackie
again,
Chan.
and I thought that's why I thought it was him, because he looks very similar.
Now, the guy who plays the father looks a lot like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he does. He does look very much like him.
By the way, I actually caught a Jackie Chan. I couldn't believe this. It was a Jackie Chan film I have not seen before. I caught it last night, and I was very disappointed.
Was it The Foreigner?
No, I haven't seen that one either yet.
Oh, okay.
I've fallen behind.
Well, I hope you want to get disappointed because that movie was disappointing. Okay, what?
Really?
Oh yeah,
I've heard good and bad about it. I haven't really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, hey, you want to watch a Jackie Chan movie where he doesn't do any Jackie Chan stuff,
but
it just sort of wanders around.
Though, what killed that movie though was Pierce Brosnan singing. That's what I heard. It's one way to kill a movie. Let Pierce Brosnan open his mouth and sing. Yeah.
So what movie did you watch with Jackie Chan?
Accidental Spy. For some reason, that was never on my radar, and it just popped up on HBO the other night, and I was like, "Huh." So I quickly grabbed my remote, recorded it, and I watched it last night, and put me right to sleep. I will say that.
Okay, good.
It took me 2 nights to watch it. So what's that tell you? The stunts were not good. It was just, and that was like 1996 or something. That movie came out.
Oh wow.
So I was a little disappointed. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
Anyways,
Yeah.
well, are you guys excited? I'm excited for this one. Expendables 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are just fun movies to watch.
Expendable 4. You asked for more, something like that. I think that's what it's called. So I did see a list though. It said top 10 people that they think should be in these movies.
So
Like
you and I
Danny
talked about this.
Trejo.
Oh yeah,
You know, Danny Trejo was one. Denzel Washington was another one, which I thought was an interesting pick.
yeah, he's not
Jackie
such
Chan,
an
though,
action
was
guy to me.
Jackie Chan was the number 1 pick. But
Really?
apparently he had schedule conflict for Expendables 2 and Expendables 3. He didn't think the role was big enough and he didn't want to do a cameo. So
Interesting.
It's interesting because those movies, Jackie Chan, to me, is more of he's like the action star of the movies he's in, not like an ensemble part of an action movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
But the other guys typically are too, but their skill set is so generic. Yeah, they're your tough guy that fights and shoots.
Right.
But Jackie Chan's skills are so unique, you know.
Okay, imagine this. All right, Expendables 4. All right, Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. They just recreate Demolition Man.
But they bring in Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Snipes.
Oh yeah, Owen Wilson is Wesley Snipes. Chris Tucker is Sandra Bullock, and Jackie Chan is Sylvester Stallone.
Where do I put my money? Because I will go see that. I will invest in that.
So Brian, we've talked about who should be in the Expendables, and who's your favorite?
There's only one person that needs to be added to this to make it the blockbuster film that everybody wants. Yeah. And that is Kurt Russell. Give the people what they want, man.
I would love to see Kurt Russell in it.
Tango and Cash is a national treasure. I said it.
You know who I'd like to see in there who doesn't get enough credit, and I don't know what he's up to now or where he's been, but I loved almost everything I saw him early on was Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
see him do it.
Okay, but all right, but here, so so Expendables 4, you get Antonio Banderas and you get Kurt Russell, but Kurt Russell is Captain Ron and Antonio Banderas is Puss in Boots.
I'd still watch it. I'd still watch it.
I think Antonio Banderas as the Desperado guy in the Desperado movies. It was so cool.
Yeah,
coolest character.
Banderas, I think, is possibly in the mix for 4.
Oh, really?
I thought I read that somewhere.
Wow, it's funny because I was just reading something about him from a long time ago, and I thought, man, where's he been?
Oh, you know what? He was just in the Bodyguard's wife.
Was
Samuel Jackson and yeah, because Selma Hayek's in that, and then Antonio was a bad guy in that.
I swear, she's in every Antonio Banderas movie, and vice versa. They're just always in the same movies.
If you go back to that movie Desperado, they are 2 of the most beautiful people ever.
Oh, I know.
I remember going, "Wow, look at them."
They're perfect together. Who's the director? Robert Rodriguez, right?
Robert Rodriguez, yeah.
He all of his movies had them. Even the Spy Kids and all those movies he did. They were all.
And here's the fun fact about that, because I know a lot about Desperado, is that Antonio Banderas didn't know how to speak English when he was filming that movie.
Really?
Yeah, they had to phonetically pronounce everything for him.
If you want a treat, watch the making of those movies, the early Robert Rodriguez movies, because he didn't have any money. He literally sat with his own camera in a wheelchair. They pushed him. That was his dollying gear. It's pretty cool the way they made that first movie, and now he got picked up. And what was it, Warner Brothers or somebody, or Columbia? I don't know.
Columbia. Yeah. So here's the deal. Did you read his book, Rebel Without a Crew?
No.
How he made the first El Mariachi movie with basically $6,000.
Yeah.
He went to those medical studies where they were taking chunks of his skin out. So like
that's
30
right.
days. 30 days, he got $2,000, and I think he did it 3 times to sit there and let them
to fund the movie
on him. Yeah, he. You know, it's so crazy. The story I remember about him the most is that he was in the director's chair for the original Zorro, and he wanted like $3 million extra to do something, some extra effects and some other things, and the studio kept telling him no. And Spielberg was producing it. He went to Spielberg, and Spielberg told him, if they're not willing to give you what you want and you can't make the movie you want, walk away. And so he did. And it didn't hurt him. But I just thought at the time, I went, Zorro would have been amazing with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
So let him direct Expendable 4. There we go. We're back on track.
So the guy that played Amarachi in the original before it got picked up by the studio was he's in the first studio movie. Also, he's like an extra, but they have him in there as one of the bad guys. I think it was cool because he just went down to Mexico and he was in Mexico. No, he went to Mexico. He was in America. He went down to Mexico to film all this and just used the locals from this town as almost all the characters.
He got to eat he had as much coconut juice and turtles he wanted to play with during that movie. Pretty sure that's how he got paid. I have a somewhere in this house. I have a trailer of Desperado when it was called Pistolero. I have
really
the trailer for it from my friend who worked at the studio, who would bring us stuff all the time. I have copies of movies nobody cares to watch.
The movies it was El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, right?
Yep.
And Johnny Depp was in that last one.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the blind assassin.
Yeah. That was pretty gory the way they showed that. Anyway. All right, back to the news. What's going on?
Speaking of gore, Steve from Blue's Clues has something to say to all of us.
I thought you were going to say Al Gore has something to tell us.
speaking of gore, the internet is up and running
when you're not using them.
Speaking of Al Gore, here I don't know. So I'm a little bit too old to have watched Blue's Clues, and I never really watched it. I watched it actually. I did watch it a little bit ago with one of my kids, and I ended up getting it wrong. So he was like, because he had the clues, and I was like,
is this the one with the animated map and all that?
No, that's Dora the Explorer.
This is the blue dog who helps solve heinous crimes, murders.
Blue's Clues SVUs.
Yep. What's that, Lou? A clue?
He solves crimes. It's like McGruff.
Crimes in the neighborhood. You know,
yeah,
where's the mail?
That's what McGruff did.
He helps to find the mail. He helps to figure out what we're looking for. Are we looking for a fly swatter, huh? Or is it an ice box?
Yeah,
we're gonna have clues. We're gonna have clues to find out. But Steve Burns is the original guy, and he made a video yesterday probably that came out, and everyone is going gaga over it about how he's back in their life, and he made them feel really good about themselves.
He doesn't make those shows anymore or something?
No, what happened was Steve left. Steve was the first host of the show, and Steve left kind of in a hurry at one point. And then parents freaked out because one day Steve was just gone. And so then he was replaced with Joe, who was supposed to be his younger brother on the show. Joe was Hispanic. Steve is not. I believe that's how it works.
It's a mixed family. And so Steve, who owns the crime dog?
Nobody owns the crime dog, Mike. You can't put the crime dog in a corner.
Yeah.
So the crime dog is just a random wandering dog without a license or a leash.
Yeah, you can't just take a bite out of crime and then call dibs on it, Mike. You can't.
When they were like years ago, McGruff was on a case and it went south, and the chief was like, "I want your badge and I want your license around your neck," and he was like, "Fine," and then he went out on his own.
Yeah, I remember. Blue, and then I remember they caught McGruff one time. They caught him and he goes ruh-roh, and then it was the whole thing.
Okay, just because he solves mystery doesn't make him Scooby-Doo.
Right.
So you have Scooby Doo solving mysteries. You have McGruff, the crime dog, and now Blue is the new one.
Yeah,
and nobody owns him. He's just a stray dog in the neighborhood.
Well, Steve, he's in Steve's house.
Yeah,
So
Steve or Joe
Steve
or
technically the
this
owner.
is sounding a lot like Victor now. It's not my dog. I don't own a dog.
So I met Steve.
You did.
I met Steve Byrne.
Was this when he was? Is this when he was on the run from the show,
he'd been off the show? I think 2 or 3 years, and my kids were young, so my kids were watching Blue's Clues. So I kind of whatever. So my friend Chris Lamont, Phoenix Film Festival. Chris had done a film called Nether Beast Incorporated.
Oh, I remember that shoot.
Steve Burns is one of the main characters in it. Anyways, for some reason, I never talked about Steve Burns or Blue's Clues ever, but Chris was like, "You have to meet him." Okay, so there was this journey through the Harkins Theater to find Steve Burns to introduce him to me. And
were there a lot of clues to find him?
There were weird clues, and every once in a while, I'd hear over my shoulder, and then it was like there's a clue on the floor.
And then you're like, "We just figured out Blue's Clues."
I am 99% sure, Brian. I was with you at the film festival when we watched Nether Beast.
You probably were.
And so I bet I don't remember.
And you were unimpressed with meeting Steve Burns at the time.
I would not have known who he was at all. To me, it was like, oh yeah.
I don't think you were
one
with
of
me
the
that
actor.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Anyways, he was very nice. We had a nice little chat. But the moral of the story is really like in this video, he talks about like, I wanted to go to college. I wanted to experience new things. And that's why I left the show. You're part of my life. And I'm part of yours. And it's good to hook up with you once again and say hello, blah, 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 blah. But
I don't know about hook up is the best way to say it.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
So is there, so is Blues,
but he did say on the way out, he did say, "Hey, you're looking pretty good." So that might be, maybe he's working on it.
Is 47
Clues,
now, but you're
Blues
not.
Clues gone now? Is that no longer being made?
I think there's a new one. I think
Is
there's a new one with a girl.
Because
recall.
there's been a lineage. There's been a lineage that we've followed so far of dog canine crime solvers. I'm wondering who's next.
Yeah. Marmaduke was never, for the record, Marmaduke never solved a crime. He was a problem maker.
Nor did Pluto or Goofy.
Pluto or Snoopy. Don't even get me started.
Snoopy
started wars.
Sleeping on the peak of his doghouse like that. That's not good for your back at all.
Gave dogs a bad name. All the dogs that have fallen off their houses. Crazy. I will give Snoopy credit though. He was doing it way before anybody else, and then also no air conditioning. No air conditioning in that house. I like some of these pampered dogs.
So there Blue's Clues is still going. It looks very different from how you remember it. And the new host name is Josh. So Josh Blue, the host.
I like
very disconcerting.
I like how you children. I like how you say it's not at all like you remember it.
Well,
it's not.
The pictures Clues Miami, Blues Clues Vegas. Blues Clues. It's just ridiculous. New Orleans. That was the worst.
Looks like we found ourselves
real dogs of New Orleans.
Yep, Blue. Looks like we got ourselves got murder.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Looks like someone.
I imagine the crimes he solved were things like a missing lunchbox and things, right? Or was it more like
Okay.
Yeah. This is a show for people under 5 years old.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like more of a murder mystery.
That eventually want to become police officers, though. Or crime investigators of some type. It's CSI for kids.
So, Josh, you were watching Nothing But Murders in the House or something in the building?
Oh yeah, last week I haven't watched the new episode. I'm going to. I can't wait.
I'm all caught up on it.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's this group of people with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez
Martin,
which I don't remember her being part of the Gomez family on the Addams Family, but
she played Blue on Blue's Clues. You would recognize her voice.
So Brian, just they created a podcast because there was a murder in their building, so that it's all about their podcast of how they're trying to resolve this. And Sting plays a prominent part in it, which is kind of funny.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm going to get to it.
It's fun. It's a really fun show.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll be honest. I'm slightly Well, I'm more than a little disappointed that it's not real Steve Martin comedy. It's just that I don't know. You watch it, you'll see.
I don't know. I want to say I
dramedy.
think that I like that it's not like a Steve Martin comedy. I like I like that Martin Short plays a big. I like that Martin Short character.
Martin Short plays Martin Short.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay.
Martin Short can only play Martin Short.
So also, you guys know what happens today. What starts to speak of TV? What starts today?
NFL?
The new chess season, right?
It's chess season.
Indoor chess.
No, it's NFL starts today. I am so excited because I love football. It's sad.
I don't know how anybody has time to watch football.
Well, we don't watch it. We just skim it. It's like I get the cliff notes.
You watch the sports highlights of it.
I watch the cliff notes of the games.
You know what I do is I watch the game while I do my chores in the house. Yeah, I'm a grown man with chores, but so between the vacuuming and the laundry and everything else on Sunday, I watch games while I'm doing.
Well, I cannot fault you for that. I watch cat videos while I do the dishes.
Yeah.
So that's
probably about the right amount of time.
That's equal waste of time, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
do you have any insights on this year's NFL season?
I do. Let me share what I have. This is what I anticipate this year.
Mm-hmm.
The fans will be so irritating. I won't be able to talk to any of them about anything. There. That's proven true in the last 10 or 12 years. So I'm just guessing that's what will happen this year.
I think something will happen politically this year again.
Yeah.
That will take away. It's like a face mask. He doesn't have to wear a mask. Yeah, he does. Wait a minute. Wait, wrong mask. Time out. And then everybody, it's a whole thing.
I want to know what the ref symbol is for face masking if it's the cloth masks.
Here's a fun trick, Mike. I'm going to give it to you when you meet someone that's like a big football fan, American football fan, is find a sport that nobody cares about and learn a lot about it so that when someone talks to you about football, you turn it back on them and talk about like cricket or badminton or something.
I know about football. I understand it completely. I don't understand the passion for it. So it becomes the thing for several months every year. It's all some people can talk about. It's like, okay, what about life though?
But Mike, you have to remember that we're all going to die someday. And some people want like a reprieve for like 3 to 4 hours on Sunday to forget about the fact that we're all eventually leading to our death.
I would much rather talk about impending death in football. That's at least interesting.
I just love it. There's a scene with a grandpa with all his family around him, and he's like, I'm going. And they're like, Grandpa, don't you want to talk about something else? No. It's dark. It's getting worse right now. You want to watch the game?
I like the inverse of that. Grandpa, don't you want to talk about something else? How are the Raiders doing?
Yeah. Didn't NBA had a thing like that about the NBA TV, and it was an old Asian lady who was very into sports, and she like her family was trying to do things, and she was like, no, not now. And then she's like watching sports.
Yeah, my wife ended up hating that lady by the time through the playoffs. She's like, this lady's just mean to her family. Yeah, go away. So, I will say that. So my buddy John Mills years ago, I remember if I came in, I was telling him about the game that I watched the night before or whatever. Once I got done with my exuberant explanation of the game and why I loved it, he would say, I don't follow tennis, and then he would walk away. Every time I would fall for this. Every time. Yeah, I don't follow tennis.
See, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Look up who are the best stars in goalball. Do something like learn everything there is to know about that, and then just turn it on someone's head.
I think learning a bunch of stuff about another sport is defeating the purpose of me not caring about football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, frankly, I feel bad because Chris is such. Okay, here's the deal. Chris is not going to watch this. We know that. So we can talk about him right now. He is so infatuated with Christmas. And I just realized next week at this time, it will be exactly 100 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do to prank Chris next week about Christmas?
Oh,
Just like we did
I've got
do something.
What if we all wear like a Christmas sweater or a Christmas shirt?
I like this
And
idea.
don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Yeah, we don't tell them.
Just show up ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we have gifts to give him. We'll make gifts and wrap them ourselves, and then open them in front of him as his gifts. He just has to watch us open them.
I like this.
And
idea.
I'll have hot cocoa.
Yep.
Actually, I like that idea. I really like that idea. I like the idea of hot cocoa. I'm super excited. Right now we're 106 days away. 107 days away, sorry, till Christmas. How far in advance do you guys start to plan?
I have Christmas. I have like in the bag. I have it all set up by Christmas morning sometimes.
Okay.
How about you, Brian?
Well, we have to celebrate my wife's birthday first on December 5th.
Yeah, because my wife's is on December
nothing
12th.
Until we get past that. Once after that, then it's a mad rush to get everything done.
I know how that is. Jenny's birthday is
very little needs, which is good.
My son's birthday is December 6th, and then Jenny's birthday is December 12th. And then we have Christmas, but then we have our anniversary and Natalie's birthday within a week after that.
Leslie's birthday is December 15th.
Really?
I wonder when Micah's birthday is. Would it be all weird if? Anyways,
that's true.
But last year because 2020 was terrible. So last year we put out Christmas decorations the day after Halloween. We took down Halloween and we put up Christmas because we're like this is a stupid year. We're gonna have any little bit of cheer we can possibly get out of this.
You gave yourself something to look forward to.
Yeah,
that's good.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's good. And
this is my first time. This will be like my third year having kids for Christmas, and it's changed the way I think about Christmas, and so I'm very excited about Christmas now.
It makes me wonder what you thought about Christmas before.
Well, I used to think it was a paganistic holiday that we stole from the Irish people or whatever like that, and then we use the Irish, and then we decorate a tree that's not even indigenous to the continent that Jesus was born on to celebrate his birth. Anyways, which was probably actually about 7 months too late. Anyways,
or early, a few months too
early. Yeah, it depends.
I get it, Josh. The Grinch is green, so obviously he's Irish. So I get it.
People don't know this about the Grinch. The reason his heart was so small is because he was small. He was a leprechaun.
And an alcoholic, apparently. Alcoholic.
He was an Irishman.
He was living up on that mountain by himself. He was just
listen, just because he's Irish doesn't mean he's an alcoholic. I mean, he was and he is. Just doesn't have to be.
This curmudgeon lived in destitute, just by himself, didn't care about anybody. He kidnapped that dog, I'm pretty sure.
I just looked on Wikipedia. His name was actually Grinch O'Hare. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Grinch O'Hare.
Yeah, that's how. So
you're a mean one, Mr. O'Hare.
They named the O'Hare airport after him. That's why it sucks.
Chicago. Yeah, that's why it's the worst airport in the country.
Yeah. So we something happened. We got some animals have escaped here recently.
Okay,
Mike?
This is the thing. Victor is up to something. I can't prove it, but I can always know when you start seeing these stories, and there's a couple of them this week. Wild animals on the loose. Victor cannot be too far behind.
Whenever there's a wild animal, you got to think Victor first.
So there was a rhino escape from the Nebraska Zoo.
Mm-hmm. And then the tiger escaped from an Indian zoo.
Yeah.
Which makes
in the same week.
So okay, I'm gonna tell you. So here's the fun. I actually know the rhino. I know.
Like, did you have coffee with the rhino or what?
I had. I'm gonna tell. So here's it's a little bit of a long story. I used to do these fundraisers for the Omaha Zoo when I lived up in the Midwest, and they take you on this like magical behind the scenes tour of the zoo, and you get to feed seals and sing Kiss 'em a Rose, and you get to pet. I got to go to the penguin exhibit and like hang out with penguins for a long time, and I got to meet John 2, the rhino, and so
what happened to John 1?
John, John 2. I don't know. Anyway, so I go into the
rhinos live like 100 years, don't they? And they're already on John 2.
Yeah. Well, it's John Paul the First, John Paul the Second.
All right.
It's like a pope of rhinos.
The rhino's Catholic.
Again with the drinking and fighting.
Again with the alcoholics. So we go. They take me into the rhino exhibit, and they take me to this room, and they have like John 2 in this little cage, and they take me to this little place, and they say like you can stand here, and then they're like he likes it when you scratch behind his ear, and then when you rub his chin, and then I was like, and they're like you can't go past this point because he'll kill you, and I was like, oh, is he mean? And they're like, no, he's actually really nice, and he wants to cuddle.
Here's the kill line. See where it's really red right here? That's the kill line.
That's and that
he
was
loves
the moment.
you. He's going to love you to death. He's going to care so much for you and knows what's good for you. So he will love you to death. Kind of like the government.
Yeah. So I learned that was the day that I learned that rhinos are just giant, fat, concrete puppies. And then I was reading the story about John 2, and they said that he escaped because he nudged his way out of a kennel. And then he went and he hung out in the grass for about an hour, and then he just went back inside.
I like nudges. There's a 4,000-pound animal nudging. That's pretty much he just went that way, and
he's got a bucket list
broke in his way.
Yeah,
the only rhinos I know. There's a rhino at 2 different zoos here in Phoenix, and they both smell like, oh my gosh, it is the worst smell around those rhinos. Yeah, but apparently they like to roll in their feces.
Yeah, they're not hippos. Hippos are very clean animals.
they're always cleaning themselves.
I mean, if you go to the zoo, they're always cleaning themselves.
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, and in cartoons, they're always taking bubble bath. So
yeah, that's right.
It's true.
So, Josh, I like the fact that you're like at the zoo and you got to see all these things behind the scenes. But when you said penguins, for some reason, I just thought you sitting there with a penguin. The penguin's like, "So you're a comic?"
I'll see if maybe I can pull up pictures. There are pictures of me with the penguins out there. It was fun. And actually,
arm behind you. All right, real close for Facebook.
And here's a fun story to go along with that. Is that so? Brian Regan has that great bit about the butterfly exhibit, right? About how stressful a job it is. They're just fluttering around, right? And so we're going into the butterfly exhibit, and the guy's like, I was like, oh man, this must be a real stressful environment. He goes, you would not believe the politics that go on in this. And I was like, the politics of butterflies?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a monarchy.
Very good. That's nice.
And that's the show, guys.
That's my time. I'm gonna go.
No, wait, we're not done yet.
The Morning Laugh presents the Victor Update.
Okay, here we go. Also, a Bengal tiger escaped in India. So I know we just talked about that a minute ago, but do you know what the story is behind this Bengal tiger escaping?
I believe he nudged his way out of a.
The penguins helped him.
Yeah,
I got it.
So he escaped out of there, but they said they didn't. This was another cover up. They said they didn't know anything about the Bengal not being there, being missing, or the zookeeper said that. And then but later he admitted, yeah, he was missing. I didn't know. So I don't know what the organization. So I think Victor let him out. Is my point.
What is it about tigers that are so mesmerizing that everyone lies?
I
like,
know.
I had nothing to do with
don't
it.
blame it on me.
Well, one of the guys.
Right.
This isn't. We didn't talk about this because it's not on our list of things to talk about. But one of the guys from Tiger King died. One of the guys who worked there.
You're right. I saw that. I don't remember him. I saw a picture. And I don't remember him from the.
I do remember him on the show. Yeah.
What? Okay, I don't remember.
He was a really long-haired guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was.
I mean, he died of. They just found him dead. I think it was it at his apartment, or was it on the property somewhere of the zoo?
I'm
Actually,
a headline reader.
hey,
I didn't read it.
I'm gonna pull this up really quick, Brian, because this actually has to do with something you're doing this weekend, and it talks about the Penguins because it's a thing that we were just talking about. That I'll show you who I was hanging out with Penguins in.
Penguins bring the world together.
That's Willie Farrell.
Oh,
hanging out
wow.
with Penguins with Willie Farrell.
Oh, I see.
How weird that this all has come up now. I'm opening for Willie this week. Huh.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So if I said,
it all comes together.
So when I see Willie and I go, hey, I was hanging out with your penguin buddy, and he'll go, Josh Novi?
Yeah, he was like, well, because he said, Josh Novi.
I like how Willie was.
It looks like this, Josh Novi. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, bada bing, bada boom.
I like how Willie was so in the spirit. He dressed like the penguin.
Yeah. Well, it was a fundraiser. We were doing a fundraiser for millionaires, and so we had to dress nice.
Oh,
but also Willie's always
millionaires.
Nice.
Why would you raise money for millionaires? That seems ridiculous.
Because that's exactly, Mike. Exactly.
I just now realized that Mike and I are wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's embarrassing.
And I want you to know that I went out of my way to change shirts before doing the show this morning. And this was like, no. I'm going to take that one because no one will wear that one. And then here we are.
I'm wearing
Cross-eyed comedy represent.
I have a cross-eyed
I
comedy.
like
shirt
Josh's shirt though. Nobody's happy.
Yeah, this is from a comedy tour I did a few years ago, but
this from a guy who's hung out with penguins.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy. By the way, are from a comedy tour Josh is currently doing.
I know, boy. If you guys want to buy some merchandise from me, I sure would love it. I mean, not Brian and James, but Mike. But
so I was watching. Speaking of movies that we were talking about half an hour ago, I was watching. Have you guys ever seen this? It's called Raiders. It's a fan film, shot-by-shot remake of Raiders of the Lost Ark, shot by what started out as 11-year-old kids. But it took them 7 years to finish it, so they were like late teens when they finished it. Have you seen this movie?
I've heard about this for years, but never seen it.
It is not great. I mean, it's impressive what they did. They did shot. If you watch the comparison frames and stuff, it's like, wow. It's amazing how much they did, and they started it right after they first watched it. Now, if you remember back in the 80s, we didn't have VHS tapes, and so you couldn't watch it again. So a lot of this was done by memory of watching it one time. But anyway, they did all that. So there's a documentary about it all now because these guys, it's a few years past this time now, but back in 2017, I think it was, they raised a bunch of money because they filmed everything except for the final scene where they had that fight in front of the airplane and the airplane explodes and all that. So they now in their 30s or their 40s, I guess, they decided they wanted to finish making this film and shoot the final scene. And so they raised a bunch of money and did it. So this documentary is all about basically that, but it covers the whole story of how they put it together over the years. But it's pretty interesting, these guys. And I cannot find the movie itself anywhere to watch it. I know they play at film festivals sometimes, but other than that, I can't find any copy of it online. So if anybody out there knows how to watch this, I'd love to see it.
Well, if you talk to Steve Burns, he can help you out, but only if you find him at the film.
Yeah.
Hey, so Mike, earlier when we were talking about on your deathbed and your old man in your scenario said, "How are the Raiders doing?" Was that what he was talking about?
That's right. Right. How are the Raiders?
This show is layered today. My gosh, the show is layered, and the secret clue about the Penguins and being to the guy I'm opening for, it's like crazy. Crazy.
We're just laying clues for the dog.
That's exciting.
Oh man, we do have some exciting things. I want everybody to know before we should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show because we really could have used this information. It is National Ampersand Day, and
yes,
and
Yes, and
Yes, ampersand.
yes,
yes,
ampersand.
I love that there's a national ampersand. It's also National Teddy Bear Day, along with Care Bear Share Your Care Day. It's also National Wiener Schnitzel Day, or Wiener Schnitzel.
I was going to say it right or don't say it at all. Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel. And National
Wiener
School Picture
Schnitzel.
Day.
Well, I mean, if you combine all these, it's National Share Your Wiener Schnitzel Picture Day, and go to
I
jail.
don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Don't send any Wiener pictures to me, please.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah.
What else was on that list? Something early you said made me think of something.
National Teddy Bear Day.
Oh, Teddy Bear.
Picture Day. Ampersand Day.
So when I was a kid, I had this when the Care Bears came out. I was like 13 when the Care Bears came out. So I did not have a care in the world about the Care Bears. But I thought for years, why hasn't anybody made the I Don't Care Bears? You know, like tired, depressed, whatever, that you could buy a bear that you could really just, you know, that would match your mood. You know, fed up bear or whatever.
Don't they have Smurfs for that, or I guess they don't have all those.
Well,
they have dwarfs, right?
I'm pretty sure somebody did that because I know they had like the Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah,
I'm sure somebody.
Oh man, you're saying somebody stole my idea from when I was 13? Man, the residuals on that have got to be huge. I'm rich, guys. I'm gonna buy a rhino. I'm gonna
bathe it.
I'm gonna train penguins to take care of it.
I'm gonna buy a rhino and wash it in bubble bath.
I'm gonna buy an animated hippo
and name it Shang.
So it looks like there was no licensed thing, but I'm sure there's something out there. Anyways, there's a lot of pictures of things. So
I don't know what you're talking about, Josh.
About the Care Bears. There's a lot of anti Care Bear things going on, but there's no licensed things like the Garbage Pail Kids.
Care Bear. I don't know much about the Care Bears, but weren't they just like love?
They were like
Bear and happy Bear and all that.
Yeah, Happy Bear, Joy Bear,
anti-Care Bear,
Joy Bear.
Well,
I mean, I'm not just
said Joy Bear.
Care Bear. I just can't imagine being anti-Care Bear.
Well, if you were 13 when they came out, I'm sure that you thought anything was funny.
I just said there's Joy Bear.
Yeah.
Joy Bearheart.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You're right.
That's like probably the meanest of the bears. Yeah, boo boo, stay away from her. That's how bad she is.
She just says stuff without thinking.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Yogi? What are you saying? Is that what you mean?
You know what?
Yeah,
I don't want to say it, but you are the worst. You're the worst. You're the worst.
That'd be great to have Joy
Color
Bear.
Ranger. Let's get out of here.
Jump to conclusions, Bear.
So we were talking about, Josh, the other day, Brent, we were talking about the fact that one of the clubs, the gal that hostesses up front, she wants to start serving. And Brian and I were talking and we think, well, if she does that, Brian says, then where are you going to get another hostess, ding dong? And then he realized he said, hostess ding dong. And we both laughed and laughed and laughed.
But you know what the payoff to that joke was, Mike? I just randomly said hostess ding dong and I was so proud of myself. Anyways, I told my wife the story and later on she bought hostess ding dongs and I came home that night and there they were.
There you go.
Win. I'm just going to randomly tell her I said sentences like pepperoni pizza. What?
Yeah.
And then I said, what are you going to do with the cherry pie?
I like anyway. So I was winning lottery over there.
So,
man. So speaking of winning the lottery, I'm getting married in 16 days.
I don't see how those are related, but that's congratulations.
Well, you know me, and you've met my fiance, so you know that I've definitely won the lottery on this one. So
hit the lottery.
Yeah,
I don't know what she is getting punished for something,
hit, right?
I feel like I feel like I've met. I know your fiance, and I know you, and I feel like you have something over her. I mean, I don't know how this is happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some call it blackmail, some call blackmail love, some call it, But I'm excited. So any advice, if anyone has any good advice or bad advice please let us know.
Actually,
Right.
now that I think about it, since you've been talking more about I haven't seen Leslie for. What have you done with her?
Oh, don't worry. She's just in the basement. I mean, work. It puts the lotion on its skin. Anyways, that's.
I gotta get some more
That's
chlorophyll. I mean, decongestants.
Brian needs
Definitely
to
say
do a bit
chlorophyll.
about
Say-
a guy being introduced to the different people at his work at his office. That reminds me
Oh
of-
no, we can't talk about that joke.
I won't
That was a
say it,
bad
but
joke. In
Yeah,
hindsight,
it's
I
a
can't
good
believe I
joke.
did
It
that
was
joke.
funny. I liked it. It was
Not good.
Anyway, it reminds me of he puts the lotion on its skin. Anyway.
Yeah, but
Oh my gosh.
what advice do you guys have for the wedding itself, the wedding
for
and
the
the
wedding
reception?
For the wedding itself, well, I got married when I was 21, so it was a different bet. For the wedding itself, I recommend not remembering any of it. That's what I did, and it seems to have worked for me.
Mm.
I'll give you a valuable tip. Because and my wife and I talk about this often. Is that the day of the wedding, there's so much going on that by the time you get married and then you get to the reception, you will never eat. So try to eat something before the wedding a little bit, just because once the reception starts and everybody starts interrupting you and everything else, you'll be lucky if you get, a couple bites down before you're like,
If you want to eat at your wedding reception, you're gonna have to nudge things out of the way, like
a rhino.
Well, man. Well, that's all the time we have today, folks. We're gonna end this one 3 minutes early.
I think before we go, Josh. So honestly, for you, I would say my tip for the actual wedding day is just enjoy it and sit back and watch. And if there's any stress, which there shouldn't be, but if there's any stress, anybody, just enjoy the ride and watch it all. I like with most of life, I always just think when things get really bad and people are frustrating me, I just think, it's like I'm just in this sitcom. These are characters in my little sitcom. And if you take it that way, you can just laugh it off.
That's right, Josh. Think of the material.
That's
right. And then
that's
always
what you
ask,
do. So you're saying bring a
whatever
notebook.
venue you're at, just always make sure before you leave, you go, so who books this place?
Well, it's at my church, and they bring me in for stuff, so they do.
There you go. All right.
There you go. So we could get booked.
Yeah. In fact, I tried to get. Hey, actually, I tried to get you guys booked, and then you didn't want to do it. So there you go.
What do you mean I didn't want to do it?
Because it was a free show.
Talking about your wedding invitation?
Yeah. You guys didn't want to RSVP.
I RSVP'd.
I RSVP'd.
Okay. I don't honestly, I have no idea who RSVP. I don't know any of that stuff. I have zero control over what's happening.
I'm going to be in North Carolina that day visiting my son, but I wish you a happy wedding. I'll talk to you before then. since we were going on the road together in a week and a half, so I'll be talking to you.
Yeah.
I like how you talk to me like you're never gonna see me again.
So anyway, Josh, that's it for me. I wish you a happy life and carry on.
Just best of luck to you, buddy. Just go ahead and start walking.
Good luck, and don't pet any rhinos.
Yeah, just don't
take any wooden nickels. And,
if you see a penguin, don't jump in the water.
Just common sense, but thought I'd share it.
Did you guys ever hear that old advice? Don't take any wooden nickels. Do you remember that?
I do.
You do?
I don't think that was.
Never heard that? No. It used to just be kind of an old, just generic. All right, see you later. Don't take any wooden nickels.
Old people.
I don't know. You never saw that, huh? All right. Josh, you're the host. This is the time you're.
I know. I'm just trying to think. I'm imagining somebody giving me a wooden nickel and be like, "Here you go. Here's your money, sir." And then they just drop like a little piece of twigs in my hand. And I'm like, I don't think this is supposed to be right. And that's when
you go. I remember Mike said not to take these.
Oh yeah. But then you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So what do you do?
Well, I have never once met a gift horse, and when that happens, though, I know to look away.
I'm so shy. All right. Well, so I know Brian's going to be at Stir Crazy this weekend with Willie Farrell. Fourth anniversary show. I'm gonna come out just to hang out for at least one of those shows. And Mike, do you have anything going on?
Yes, I do. Next weekend on Sunday, I am going to be part of the Generationally Funny Comedy Tour along with all of you fellas. And we're going to be in Kansas, near Wichita, in Augusta, Kansas. So come out and check it out. Go to generationallyfunny.com for tickets and information. And yeah, right there. And
I'm like I'm on American Idol.
Yeah. Vote for me. Vote here. Vote here.
And anyway, come out. We're really having fun with the shows, and I hope everybody gets a chance to watch them.
Me too. That's it from me, guys. Thanks for coming out this morning, and have a good day.
Adios.
All right. Good morning.